Hey, what's up, guys? Thought I'd go over something a little different. I don't get every one of these, but I do. When I go through it, there's enough stuff in here. I usually try to snag it. It's another British magazine, right? Military Modelcraft International. Right. And they always have an armor and profile thing, which is usually the first thing I look for because obviously it's really dealing with armor. But model making, right? Now I'm interested in models, miniatures. You see the Toy Soldier magazine, even though I don't really have any other than the plastic little Airfix ones. The it's what can I say? It's related. Okay, I'm getting more into the model planes as well. Obviously, mostly the German stuff from the war, especially the crazy stuff they were making at the end. But I'm always a tank guy. I always like tanks. Okay, Mr. Anti-War guy, like who hates World War II for what it did to us and his family. Yeah, but interested still. Yeah, a lot of photographs. Just looking at this, the artisanal quality, the skill required in this, right? Making the models. In this particular issue too, they cover a Swedish model expert. In terms of they have competitions making the diorama, I guess dioramas you call them. Where you're telling a story. Right? We'll get into it. Obviously, and of course, as usual, when you're dealing with military history, you're always gonna have these lads. Always, always. I don't think there's ever gonna be an issue where you can't have something like this in it. You have to have these dudes. So, although I am a fan of British armor, even the armor that wasn't effective, and Soviet armor. American, not so much, but I'm the editor. I mean, there's no point going to the editor. The one where they try to stay, relevant is there's always something about Ukraine, the modern Ukraine situation, in this. And it's interesting too. Listen. I have some models. I'm slowly making some of them, not at this level. 172 scale, 135 scale. I don't have space. I don't have time. But maybe someday. What I've gathered from the painting of the models, they always do this where they put like a black matte finish on, and I don't know what these metal little things are. I don't remember these as a kid when me and my dad actually made a model of a Jagdpanther. Of course, he did most of it, right? The painting actually was pretty good. I didn't even realize he had done it before. I don't even think he did. He was kind of like a semi-street dude, but he's still, I don't know. I guess it's a very masculine thing to do this. Nerdy, but still male. So, yeah, this is like more the scale that I would do. Although if it comes like this, it seems like very simple to put together. Right? Of course, the whole idea of model making is not so you just glue it together. There's like techniques of gluing. There's different techniques of using those hobby knives, which I sliced my finger open once with because I didn't cut away. You're supposed to cut away from the sprues, right? But like this, in terms of telling a story, right? What's the point? I mean, you can make the little models, put them in a shoebox, right? Like your Matchbox cars. But the real high level dudes, they make little dioramas, right? They make little settings here where it tells a story. Of course, in here we have British paratroopers in Northern Ireland. So yeah, Brits go home. That's right. But that's really what you're gonna see at the end. They have competitions for that, and the craftsmanship done it's something I respect. Of course, lots of books. Also, like I said, the photography angle, the history angle. See, stuff comes together, right? The miniature angle, the art angle, some of the painted artwork, the collections of painted artwork for models, even like the old Gundam models, like the old anime models, the old Captain Harlock, Space Cruiser Yamato, the painted artwork on those. I would spend $100 on a book that just had just a collection of the painted artwork. Oh yeah, right. I can't pronounce the Schwer Panzerspavagen. Right? This is to the point where the Germans they were putting a Pack 40 and anything that had like anything they could that would move. So, because once you put this on something, you can knock out any tank that you're gonna go against. So, I thought this was like hunting and fishing. Hey, what are you trying to say? So actually, these are the at this point these are the better Americans. So of course they always go through the process. Right, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to make this video too long. I like the obscure stuff like this. Right? The M1, what is it? The T7. All right, this is the not the M1 combat car. This is the T7 combat car. Right, this is the combat cars. When in the American in the 30s, there was a bill where like the army had to have tanks. The cavalry could not have tanks, but obviously the cavalry wanted tanks. And so they had the idea of, okay, they're not tanks, they're combat cars. Oh, that's okay. And you see like the cool, the old Christie suspension. Of course, the Christie suspension and plans were more utilized by the Soviets, so and to a lesser extent by the British for their cruiser tanks. But I like looking at the obscure stuff like this, the combat cars. Interesting sprues. I think a lot of this stuff is being 3D printed now. I don't know how they did them before, but Ravel. I remember Ravel. Yeah. And they got the cool. The Dornier. Yeah. Always looking to German stuff. Anyway, and look at really like the 3D printers. Look at this. Look at these sprues, man. They look like alien tentacles, right? Like fucking doppelganger aliens, like pod people. Bizarre sprues they have. Of course, like I said, 3D printing is a huge thing. Alright, so painting, I don't know a bloody thing about painting. I have to start, I'll have to friggin' do something really simple. So, I got to the time, I'm recording music, by the way. So, of course, come on, man, Stug life, right? Sturmgeschütz. The #1 armor killer in that war, okay, was this baby right here. This thing destroyed more Soviet and Anglo-American armor than anything else they had, and they made a lot of these. Like I said, I don't know what is the significance? I don't remember that. I guess I should look. And you see, the painting, right, Tamiya, right? You see the painting. You to make it look weathered. There's whole techniques. So apparently, what I'm seeing is that you put a black mat on everything first, and then you can do whatever you want on the black. It makes sense, like on the kind of like the opposite of a white canvas. Look at that! Look at that! That's cool. Yeah, let's get them. Get them, comrade. All right. So now this is where the armor and profile comes in, where the history comes in. Of course, the M3 or the M2. This is the M2, the M3, the Stuart tanks, right? And this is where they mention, right? The cavalry unit, right? The cavalry unit had M1 series combat cars, which were tanks in all but name, right? That's because of that Congress bill for funding. Of course, by the time the war clouds were brewing, they got rid of that, and they were all tanks again. I like those M2 Army ones with the May West, the twin turrets. So, but anyway, we're talking about the Stuarts. I like the Stuart tank. I think it looks cool. Apparently, the British when these the first used in action by the British. Remember, there's 41 in North Africa. America isn't fighting the Japanese yet, so it's interesting. They got the M3s. Whereas in Guadalcanal, the Marines were using M2s. The one before this, really a lot of funds to fight the enemy that actually attacked you, huh? So I like this. I like this opening stuff. Right, obviously, most of this is the Operation Crusader. Of course, the British, I think they won this one. I have to look more into the North Africa stuff, but whatever battle, even if the British won, they left a lot of knocked out, destroyed tanks on the battlefield regardless, because they were always outfought. I like this. Open stowage bin lids can be from the crew taking their belongings, or some German or Italian soldiers looking for something useful. Like I say, most of the photos in here are of knocked out tanks. I like the tank. I like the Stuart. So. boom, you got knocked the fuck out. Bop, you got knocked the fuck out. Oh. So, and unfortunately, like a lot of the tanks, they went on fire pretty easy because of the stowage. And look at the specs, very interesting. So, of course, what is the thing about this tank? It doesn't have a ring basket, right? So when you're in the turret and you turn the turret, you have to like step over the suspension, like that thing. You had to step over it, you know. The basket ring sort of kept you above it, but whatever. Now you could say the tank. Interesting. It was a very noisy tank. Its range was only 40 miles, but it was very reliable. The British liked it. They called it honey. You know, I guess they liked it. It didn't make a difference. You were still getting knocked the fuck out by the DAK, son. But it's okay. Here was one. Knocked out again. Oh, you got knocked the fuck out. Oh, I'm pissing off a lot of fucking people right now. But probably none of my viewers. Look at this. Some curious German soldiers, including Rommel himself, examine a tank. Like, oh, what is this new tank that the British are using? Yeah, more German soldiers, and I think there's more German soldiers operating. They're probably like, wow, what is this? Was ist los? Just knock it out like any of the others. This is cool. Some guy had an idea putting, what is this, a 25-pounder on here as a sort of self-propelled gun. So, the battle and its aftermath. All right. Now, the day many tanks were lost and their crews with them. Right? But they had performed well, right? In the end, remember, like, oh, this American tank is no good. It's still as good as any of the damn cruiser tanks, which are getting not as reliable. So anyway, so that was interesting. I still like this tank. This is a tank, like, you could probably buy this still. Somehow, I actually know. Like I said, I'm a white man and buying America. That ain't happening. This is cool. You see, of course, this was the Comet, right? This was the. Which I always said that based on the Cromwell. The Cromwell looked like a little brother of the Tiger, but with, like, you know, this one has the 17-pounder. So this was actually an effective tank. Came rather late in the war apparently, but like the whole technique. Like Panzer Aces, you got your own paint line, you darling. Look at that. Alright, but look at this. I mean, okay, the tank, but look at the stuff done here. Okay, the presentation. You know, and they have an interesting interview with this Swedish guy, modeler and historian, who actually he is of German descent as well. So look at this work right here. Just look at it. You know, to make it look weathered and real is really amazing, and like it's a good interview. You know. And he actually makes sketches because, you know, he goes to the places where these happen. Look at this. Look at the detail. The corn stalks, the mud. Just everything. You know, the Panzer Grenadiers, and it tells a story. And this guy does a lot of research. He goes to especially in the Hungary battles, which are forgotten. Some of those savage battles you had were in Hungary, and he's doing research, right? Right. Then and now, photos like these are important, right? Back then, look, you still have the house here, somewhere in Hungary. So, really interesting. So, all right, this brings me back to my childhood in Sweden. My father was German, and like many Germans, he came to Sweden in the 50s to work at the Saab aircraft factory. I grew up with stories about the war, right? Just like me. One uncle led his own Kampf group while serving in the Western Desert, you know. And, right, he talks about the ones from Hungary, some of those battles, though. I sought out and interviewed veterans both from the Wehrmacht and the Waffen-SS. At the time, a lot of serious historians ignored oral history and its value. But the veteran stories had a huge impact on me. I mean, in the end, the oral is the only way, right? It's the only way you hear fucking something close to the damn truth, because you ain't going to get it from historians. Yeah, look at it more. Look at this guy's work, man. The buildings, the stories. Absolutely amazing. Look, there's the Mark IV. Anyhow, let's round it out. I'm running out of time, but like they have the competition. Look at some of the. Look at this. Look at this one. What? That's like probably actual dirt. Oh, hold on. Maybe they sell like simulated dirt. Oh, man, dude. Like I said, it's not just making a model and putting it on your shelf like a toy. You're telling a story, man. Yeah. Oh, Come on, comrades, get him. Fucking, that's right. Oh, I don't like you. You're biased. You bet your damn ass I'm biased. You know, you should have been biased too. You fuck. Hey, we just kidding. Just kidding. Relax. So, man, outstanding. Like I said, don't get every issue of this, but this was a good one, man. Once again, the British, if they're good at a lot of bad things, like fucking over their own people, but they still make bloody good magazines for the pensioners. Am I a pensioner? Sure, I ain't gonna live to see that. Yeah, what I mean by that is there ain't gonna be nothing by the time I'm old enough. All right, stop.